calling all misfits, rebels, leaders, and teachers, welcome to the one place where the only way to fit in is by standing out, where big goals are met with even bigger action, and where we talk through, then tackle all things entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Kelsey Knudsen, and this is the Get Shit Done podcast. Hiring is not going to solve your problems. Today, I'm talking about the issue we don't want to address. Sales are a little inconsistent, and you're feeling anxious about it. We're diving into 3 specific things you can do for free in your business today to help support that next level of growth without having to hire someone. People are not the answer for you right now. The problems you have, they can't solve. People are complicated. People are not cheap. People bring awareness to inefficiencies and systems and problems that exist in the business. If you were going into this thinking, I'll just make more money and hire that out, that is the wrong approach. The best time to get house in order is when you're solo, because if you bring someone to your chaos, them being there is just going to ignite the chaos. It makes training a nightmare, more expensive and inefficient. And it makes it very difficult for you to be an effective, decisive leader because you're a mess and you don't know how to communicate mess to a new person. Today, we've decided we're not hiring. Maybe we will in a month after we execute some of these things. But today we decided we're going to scale, and here is how. The first thing we're going to do is audit your offers. All my offers are one-on-one coaching, remaster, CEO bootcamp, KPI or die, which is my freebie, and VIP days. Those are my offers. If you want to work with me, those are your options. I recently made the tough decision to actually cut my course. I was teeing up the ball, both from a marketing and operationally, to launch a course this year. It's not happening, sis. It was the right choice. It feels like a full body hell yes. I feel really calm and happy that I made that decision. On paper, one could argue a bad decision because there's people who would have bought it, no doubt in my mind. But I am such a advocate of action. I don't know if you're taking action if you have a course. There's automations and stuff you can set up to track someone's progress of a course, but it doesn't sit right with me. I can yell at you in an email, but I can't do this. And this is where I shine. This is where I'm happiest. And I just can't do that in a course. It's the right decision. But I wouldn't have known that had I not really looked at my offers and been like, what here is a hell yes. I took the course out of the equation. I added something new called a VIP day. And that became a hell yes because we opened a co-working space. The co-working space has a meeting room with big whiteboards. I geek out in that room. I love mapping stuff out in that room, whether it's my own business or helping someone else with theirs. There's something to be said about doing a nice brain dump and then building out a process or system that comes from all of that information. And there's so much power that you can harness in a really focused time frame. A 6-hour VIP day is something that's new to me. I already have 2 booked. I had a sales call the other day for a 3rd, and I just came out with it like 3 weeks ago. It's a full body hell yes. I enjoy doing it. I feel good doing it. I priced it at a point that would weed out a certain level of business owner. I wanted someone who is willing to invest time and energy and show up fully to squeeze all the juice out of it. I wouldn't have known to add in VIP days, and I wouldn't have had the space if I didn't let the course go. And it's not just the VIP days more expensive. There's so many other factors. Does this speak to my ideal client? Is this what they're asking for and needing? Does this solve a clear problem? VIP days specifically tackle launches, quarter planning or auditing, and systems. That's it. It's very specific. If you are not in one of those buckets and you literally have to click which one, then it's not a fit for you by design, but it's very specific. And I didn't feel that same gut hell yes clarity with the course. Letting that go was the right decision. Auditing led to shifts like that in my business. And I've done that for other businesses. I've had some higher end luxury services that had way too many offers, and you're hodgepodging together offers to meet the needs of your clients. By being more creative and flexible, they thought they were serving them better. And the more that they cleaned stuff up and said, this is how we do business, the higher they can charge and the higher caliber of client they've been able to convert. Going through and auditing and making sure that alignment is happening between your ideal client and the offer is crucial for you. After you go through an audit, you also need to consider some costs. How much are you charging for these things? When's the last time you raised the price? What are your costs that go into providing that service or product? Is that reflected in the pricing? Recently, I was talking to a food-based business, and she hasn't done an assessment of her product costs per item she creates in a year. I was like, how much are eggs today versus a year ago? She's, oh, a lot. And I was like, and your prices are the same. Your profit margin has just shrunk. And how's your sales? Are you selling the same amount this year as you were a year ago? Yes, no. Okay, there's your problem. Going through your offers could lead to increase my prices. Could also lead to, we're going to get rid of that one. Could also lead to, I really love doing this, but I don't have anyone who's purchased it. And then looking at your Instagram and saying, it's because I haven't talked about it. I'm going to talk about it more. That's the data that we can act on to make shifts in the business. Number 2, looking at your systems and processes. I know, not sexy, but going through it. What is our onboarding process for new clients? What is our offboarding process? What's our maintenance process? Are we meeting monthly, weekly, Zoom, in person? Do they schedule ahead of time? Do I send a recap email? Do they record the recording? What are the expectations? Cleaning up all of those little bits and pieces so everything is clear. That's the manual stuff you shouldn't have to reinvent every single time you're onboarding someone new. That should not be a pain point. If you're listening to this and someone hires you and then you say, oh yeah, I'll get the proposal to you in 2 to 3 days because you have to start from scratch every time. It doesn't need to be that way. Odds are going back to the offer is going to help support in that, and then creating the system to support that offer is going to help execute on it. The third thing you can do to help with scaling that does not involve hiring people is breaking down whether you have a marketing issue or a sales issue. Here's what I mean. Marketing issue looks like this. You post consistently on social media. You have a specific offer you would promote consistently, and nobody is doing anything about it. We have a marketing issue. Either your messaging is off, it's not resonating with people, it's not clear. In your head, you talked about it, but it wasn't actually enough. You just talked about it on Instagram stories, but you should have talked about it on your email list, in networking groups, etc. Or maybe you're doing all those things and people are going to your website and they are inquiring and DMing, but then they're not signing up or buying. Then we have a sales problem. That could be solved through hiring a coach, listening to a podcast, having a script. Sometimes just having your offer feel like a stronger hell yes, then you have more confidence in the conversation. How about instead of having a coffee chat, what if you called it a sales call or a discovery call? It just comes out with more authority from the jump. I think sometimes we get put in the friend zone in business and we don't realize we did it to ourselves. Those are 2 different problems. They need 2 different solutions. And we don't know that if we're not assessing what's going on. Back to KPIs, this is why it's important to track. Because if we just say Instagram's not working for us, we actually don't know how to solve for that. If you are already putting out a ton of content and your decision is to put out more content, that might not be the best use of your time, and that's not solving the problem. For me, less fancy shit. Yes, there's a time and place where automated stuff is helpful. I'm a fan of ManyChat because it makes life easier, but I went through and I tweaked the messaging on things so I would genuinely write that. I want it to feel that way. But the trade-off between doing something manual and personalized and doing something systematic, sometimes just by it being a system, you will see a dip. For me, having ManyChat automated to send you this podcast episode in Instagram is worth it for the 3 people who comment podcast, who get it delivered right to their inbox. That is worth it for me, one woman marketing show versus me having to manually babysit and try to get a 4th person. There's a time and place where you have to make those decisions in business. Marketing in general, we need to post organically, natively from the platform with trending audio, doing this dance move. People are way too hard in that camp and it's not working. Or some people are way too systematic and you can tell AI is just running their entire platform and that is also not working. Sometimes the truth is somewhere in the middle. When I'm posting stuff, I always think, how can I direct traffic back to my business? Though this is a funny moment with my husband who's talking about birthing a human. If you caught that story, I'm sorry, but there was one story that I posted recently and it had nothing to do with business, but it was funny and I was happy to share it. That Instagram story blew up, meaning way more than my normal. People commented, if I keep doing that all the time, now I'm just an entertainer. Now I'm just a lifestyle influencer. At the end of the day, I'm still a business. Having pieces of content like that occasionally is not a bad thing, but I have to be mindful and I can't put all my eggs in that basket. That is not the right indication of success. Sure, it's getting more eyeballs, but are those eyeballs business owners? Are those people signing up for CEO bootcamp or discovery call, learning more about my program? At the end of the day, I'm doing this for business. Odds are you are too. Be kind to yourself when you're auditing this stuff and be honest. How often are you talking about your offers? How directly? And how often are you having calls? Even simply counting on your calendar, how many discovery calls did I have this month and who were they? If you're constantly getting no's or maybes or laters, odds are it's worth doing a little Google search for some sales support. That's not my specialty. I can't help you there, but identifying that's something that needs attention, that I can do for you. If our offers are constantly changing and evolving and not fully flushed out, if our processes are a hot mess or just do this, if our sales and marketing is either a full ChatGPT takeover and it looks like it, or total gung-ho in the moment YOLO style, it's hard to pass that baton to someone else. Now is the time to get this stuff in order. You can do all of this. If you're listening and you're overwhelmed and you're like, sounds good, I don't know where to start, I'm stuck, then I have a solution for you. This is exactly what we cover in CEO Bootcamp. Our next cohort is kicking off in a couple weeks, and I would love for you to be a part of it. It's for solopreneurs specifically wanting to clean up their systems. We cover everything from KPIs to onboarding, offboarding, marketing, launch plans, all of the systems that help you in your operations, marketing, strategy, planning. I love helping business owners with this stuff and take it to the next level. It's a group program. There's other people alongside. You get a one-on-one call with me as well. It's my last cohort before the baby comes. Come join us. Learn more about it at kelseymarieknudsen.com/CEO bootcamp or click the link in the show notes. Don't be a stranger. If you have more questions about the program, I'm happy to answer them on Instagram at kelseymarieknudsen. We just unlocked a way to scale that does not involve any humans. I can't wait to hear what offers you're optimizing efficiencies you're improving in your business and whether you're doubling down on posting more stuff or working on your sales. Thanks for being a part of the Get Shit Done revolution. My hope is this episode sparked a fire in you, equipped you with practical next steps, or inspired you to take action towards your goals. If it did, please help spread the word by sharing this episode or leaving a review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're tuning in. Now it's time for me to hand over the keys and let you get shit done.